What's your my homies, DJ80 here, and today I'm going to be doing a how-to video on how to transfer data from one external hard drive to another external hard drive. I'm going to be showing you this on my Denon Prime 4, and I'll be using the engine software, but it doesn't matter what you use, whether it's Rekordbox, Serato, Virtual DJ, the principle's still the same. We're just transferring one lot of data from one drive to another drive. So unlike my product review videos, I'm not going to be going too much into why I did something and the pros and the cons and my reasoning behind everything. I'm going to try and keep this as simple and concise as possible. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on. Oh, and by the way, this is the first time I've done it myself, so if I come across any problems or if I make any mistakes, I'll include them in the video. Right, let's go. So this is my current hard drive. I'm just going to power on the unit. So I bought the Prime in 2019. And I brought this HDD, which is hard disk drive, at the same time. And for quite a long while it was fine, and I put all my music on there. I have a music subscription, so every month I get about 1 GB of tunes that have to go on there and then separated into playlists. So as we can see, that's loaded up already, but you'll see that it says updating on there. Now that's something that's relatively new, and that's partly because I've updated the Prime to the latest software, which at the time of doing this video is 2.1.1. and obviously with the improvements that you get with the software and the updates and the more data that's on there to run the system, I think that puts a bit more stress on the drive. So subsequently what I found is that my drive doesn't load so quickly. Something else that Engine did was it removed separate crates and playlists, and with the new update it made them all just one, so they're either all a playlist or they're all a crate. And what I find now is that it just takes a bit longer to load, and occasionally, even once it has loaded, it can freeze up. So if I just pick one there, and there's only about 20 songs, I think, and then you can see it's just loading. Right, so it takes a bit longer than it used to when I first got it. So what I'm planning to do is transfer all of the information that's on this drive, and I've brought this new Samsung SSD drive. So SSD is a different type of drive. This is an external one. You can get internal ones. Most new laptops have internal SSDs now, but these are supposed to be more efficient, a bit smaller, but most importantly, they're quicker. So I just wanted to show you how it was running at the moment before we do the change. So what I'm going to do now is just open this package and just show you everything that we get in it. So inside the box, you get some very brief instructions. It basically tells you to just plug it into your computer and then follow the on-screen instructions. You get the little hard drive itself, which is very light, very tiny. I wanted a red one. This blue one cost me £90. A red one costs £125. So I wanted a red one, but I'm not stupid, so got a blue one instead. All right, you get two cables with it. One is USB-C to USB-C. So for modern computers, it'll probably have a USB-C port. But the reason I brought this was because we get this cable, which is USB-C to just a USB-A. It's a USB-A 3.2, so it's a fast one. It has more internal connections. But more importantly, it's your normal rectangular USB, which will plug in to my Prime 4. The Prime 4 doesn't have a USB-C port. So that's the reason why I went for this one, and it's 1 TB in size as well. So my collection at the moment is just under 300 gigs, so it still leaves me with plenty of room. So what I'm going to do next is plug it into the laptop and see what it's like on startup. Right, let's go then. Let's plug that in there. Of course. Okay. Double clicking the setup application. So it's using about 60 gigs then for background processing. I'm just going to update it as well. I'll give that a quick refresh. Awesome. All right. So I have a choice now. I can either copy and paste all my files from my other hard drive, or I can use a piece of cloning software, which will copy everything from my old hard drive to this one. And I looked into this before doing the video, and apparently there can be some hidden files in the old hard drive which don't go over via copy and pasting. So it's recommended that you do it by cloning. So I'm going to pick one. I think I'm going to go for cloning, and we'll go through the process of doing that together. So just before we move to that next step, I need to partition this drive. So what I can't do is just dump a really big load of files onto it, because it won't work. So you have to partition the drive, and you're going to need to do this whichever drive you buy. So there's a couple of ways of partitioning it. One's called FAT32, and one's called exFAT. So we're going to be using exFAT. Now I've looked on the Denon forum, and apparently that's better and more efficient if you're transferring large amounts of data. And I think they said anything over 4 gigabytes. So to format it, I find the drive here, and then I right click on that, and then that gives me a list of options. I go to format, and it's actually chosen exFAT already. Allocation unit size. I think I'm just going to go for default, and I don't want a quick format. I'm going to do a full format, and you get a little warning where there isn't any data on the disk anyway, so that's okay. And we'll just see how long that takes. So 7 minutes in, and I just had a fraction of green here, so I cancelled the slow format, and I'm going to do a quick format. The reason I opted for a slow one was because I had read that when you do a slower format, it resets everything to 0, but the hard drive's brand new, straight from the shop, so there shouldn't be anything on it anyway. So I'm going to go for a quick format instead. Ain't no one got time for that. Awesome. Job done. All right, so now it's ready for the transfer process. So the next thing I'm going to try and do is clone the disk. So just create a clone copy from one disk to another. And the software I'm going to use is from Macrium. Now I did a Google search and it came up as the best freeware for doing this. And I've had a quick look on their website as well. So there's a Reflect 8 free commercial, and further down there's a Reflect 8 free. So creates clones, and basically what this should do is if there are any hidden data files in my current hard drive, it should copy them over, which a standard copy and paste might not do. I'm not saying it won't do, I'm just saying some of the research says I might miss some files. So I'm going for this option. I'm going to download that, and I'm going to have to put some details in, so I shall be back in a moment. The process was really easy. I just had to put in an email address, and I went into my email and straight away it was there. So it gives you a link to click on. As soon as you click on that, it downloads, and they also give you a code as well in case you need it. So it's in my download folder now. So I'm just going to double click and open it up. Free. Yeah, it all looks pretty good, doesn't it? Oh, I might as well leave it open. It's going to be a couple of seconds, isn't it? That's one less edit to do. So this laptop is running on an SSD. It's much quicker than my older one, which was a HDD drive. Okay. All right, so it wants the license key, which is here. Oh, maybe I don't need it actually. Ah, it's not going to let me copy and paste. Okay, G145 H61F. Okay, go on. I dare you. Woohoo! All right, I'm just going to have a quick look at this before I show you the next part, because I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing myself. So I've now plugged in both drives, and I've clicked the refresh icon there, and my new drive is on the screen. A bit blurry. So one of the key things you're going to need to remember to do is untick these boxes. Okay, so I unticked them and then put a tick in this one, and I got the option underneath it to clone this disc. So this is the current disc with all my music on, and this one here is the one that I want it to go on. So I'm going to click clone this disc. And now it's asking me to select a disc to clone to. And the one I want to clone to is this one. So it's give me a double check. So the Toshiba HDD, oh blimey, going to the Samsung SSD. Copy selected partitions. Yep, I want that as well. So that little box is already pre-ticked. Let's go for it. If I want to do it again in the future, hope not. Next. Okay, so it gives me a quick summary. So the Toshiba one, to the new one. What do you want to do now? Run this back up now, save backup. Following drives will be overwritten. That's absolutely fine. So that's good. That's a nice little last warning there, in case you tick the wrong drives to clone. Go for it. I know. Let's do it anyway. Oh, I didn't tick the box. Go on. And it's off ski. So it's obviously going to take a little while. So I'll come back to that. I better keep an eye on the time, and it's 4:15. Okay, so I've hit an error. 8 minutes in, and it actually came up with the drive wasn't partitioned. So I'm going to close that. And we've got a red line there. So this is an edited clip, which I've done as I'm finishing off the video at the end. I realised I didn't show you what the solution was to that particular problem. And it's quite easy to explain. Earlier on in the video, when I showed you how to reformat the SSD, which we would be using, I right-clicked on it, and I clicked Format, excuse me, and I showed you to have exFAT there, and then I showed you to set that at default. Now, that's what caused the problem you've just seen. What this actually needs to be set at is its highest setting, which is that one on my computer. It should be the same on yours as well. So that's why the clone wouldn't work first time round. So I closed the Macrium program, went back into my SSD drive and changed that to that one, its biggest setting, and then clicked start. And then following on from that, it's the next part of the video. So I've reformatted this one again, the Samsung drive, and I'm now going to try the whole process again. Actually, let's just refresh. Let's hope that one works. So far so good. 10 minutes in, 5%. Look at that. And my little hard drives are flashing like troopers. Fingers crossed. So it's finally done. Just under 4 hours that took. So what I'm going to do now is eject the drives and try my new SSD drive in the Denon. So I'll just check. If I click close on there. And so this was my old drive. And this is my new drive, and it's showing the same amount of full memory, exactly the same. So that's a good sign. And I'll just work out how I eject those now. It's got an actions. I'll get back to you on that. I'm just going to try my normal ejection method, which is click there, click there, click that one. Okay. That sometimes does that anyway because it doesn't like ejecting. Let's try that one. Okay, so the SSB is ejected, and let's just try the other one. Doesn't like that. Okay, another edit here. As you can see, the SSD ejected. This drive that won't eject does play up from time to time. You might not have the same problem. What I ended up doing was actually just closing that Macrium program and then trying to eject the drive, and it worked. But failing that, I would have just unplugged it because I know the drive doesn't like to eject that much anyway. So just go in there as normal, eject, and if you get that message, which I kept getting, just close Macrium and then refresh the screen, try again, and if it doesn't work, just unplug it. Okay, for the moment of truth, new SSD, let's power it on and see how we get on. I did eject the other hard drive. It was just frozen on my computer, so I went into files and devices and removed it that way. But I could have just as easily just unplugged it. That will work too. Okay, well this is a good sign because I haven't used this drive before, so I certainly shouldn't have a profile to it. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay. Nice, much quicker than before. Let's see what the search is like. Oh, brilliant. Okay, let's try something else. Awesome. Let's try something with the in. Perfect. Well, so far so good. Now all we've got to do is test it and see if it loads up quickly. So I've just plugged it in. Wait for this to load, and hopefully everything will be there as it was on the other hard drive. And if it isn't, we'll have to try again. Okay, so that's a good sign. User profile. So I haven't used this before, so it shouldn't have user profile on it. Let's have a look. Okay, that's fairly quick. It's, yep. Okay, some big files there. Primarily 21. Oh, nice. Let's just try the search function as well. Well, okay. Let's try that again. Okay. I don't know if we've got anything under Rave. Yeah, we have. Okay, all right, so that seems to work. Seems to be loading okay. Let's just see if it plays all right, shall we? Anything? That'll do. And speakers will help. Okay, let's try that again. I didn't have the cable plugged in properly. More live. Brilliant. All working. Nice and quick. No pauses. Everything seems to be working just fine. So, yeah, that's how you transfer or clone one external hard drive to another external hard drive. That's worked for me. If I have any problems with it whilst I'm out gigging, I'll update in the comment section of the video. Thanks for watching. Hope it's been a help. I've been DJ80. By all means, give the video a like or subscribe. Much appreciated. And I'll see you next time. Bye.